Hi, and welcome to God's ABCs. I'm so glad you've joined us today. And this week we're going to go over our first week. We're starting back at the beginning of the Bible. And so in this video, I'm going to post a link below to a video that's just our memory work for this week. But in this video, I wanted to explain just a little bit about how we're going to make our Bible work, memory work, God's ABCs fit into our day and how it's going to play out with all of our kids. So I have kids that are 7, 5, 3, and 1 right now. So this week is going over creation, the creation story, and it's also a chance you can really use to just introduce who is God. So that's kind of my premise for this week is who is God and what is creation. So for any of the preschool kids, what we'll be doing is reading the Jesus Storybook Bible or maybe the Gospel Story Bible each day, and we read there's a creation story, and we read it every day, either breakfast time, bedtime, that kind of thing, and kind of talk about it and pray about it, those kinds of things. See if they'll ask you any questions. After we read the story, we'd also then say, okay, can we go over the days of creation? Do you know what they are? And that's where the memory work video that I'm going to post will come in. So you're just going to try and go over the 6-7 days of creation. And then the only other thing I'll be doing with those littlest kids is sing the basic songs. These are actually BSF songs, Who is God and What is Creation, and they're perfect, great, just simple. It's like a simple way to remember who is God and what is creation, and each one of them has a verse associated with it. The What is Creation one has the memory verse that we'll also be learning as the kids get older from Genesis 1. So that's really all that I will make myself do. Now, other things that we will do during the day and during the week is color pictures from coloring books. I have Bible coloring books. I also print off something. It's a creation coloring page or animals coloring page or stars coloring page. We may make some of those things with Play-Doh or work puzzles that are of stars or animals or people or fish, those kinds of things. And talk about, as we're doing the puzzles or as we're making the Play-Doh, we'll say, okay, do you remember the 7 days of creation? Or, okay, do you remember who is God? And we will then either sing that song or go over that 30 seconds of memory work. And then as the kids get older, I would then, after we read the Jesus Storybook Bible with the real younger kids, I would then add in some of the long story short devotionals. There's actually 2 weeks, I think weeks 1 and 2 for the creation story. And then for those a little bit older kids, maybe pre-K, kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade, we'll add in where they have to repeat the memory work or recite the memory work, or maybe even have to trace the memory work or copy the memory work. The same thing with, I would then tell them what the memory verse is, Genesis 1:1, and we would say it and either sing the Genesis 1:1 song in the What is Creation song, so they have it put to heart, or I'd have them again trace over it that I've written it, or do copy work on their own, writing practice, or have them read it to me. That's reading practice. And then with those kids, I would also add in the other songs that I have in my YouTube playlist. The fun ones are like He's Got the Whole World, and what's the other one? Mighty Is Your Love. Those are 2 like fun kids dancing ones. And we would also be playing on repeat over the whole week the Indescribable song and the hymn. What's the hymn? Oh, Fairest, Lord Jesus. And so that's what I would be singing as like their bedtime hymn or at nap time, or if I want the kids to calm down, I would pick one of those to sing. And then with those kids, I'd also play with the videos for them. There's a blip about what is creation in what's in the Bible. That's awesome on Right Now Media. There's a Bible app, creation story. There's a beginner's Bible creation video. So there's lots and lots of things for the creation story, because it's kind of so, I mean, it's like the beginning. So that's kind of where everything starts. So since it's so important, there's a lot of resources for it. But honestly, the biggest thing is just over the course of the week, the 7 days, is repetition. So hearing those songs over and over and over again, or writing the memory verse over and over and over again. Trying to make it fun and enjoyable and have motions or a song or something like that, but still just repeating it over and over and over again. And then if you have kids that are older, I don't have kids that are all older yet, but if you do have kids that are older, I have Bible project videos in my YouTube playlist and some other Christian resources. There's a super book video that's definitely for kind of mid-elementary and older. And I would even add like little tests for them. So have them, okay, can you go draw the days of creation on your own? I want to see you make a picture of the 7 days on your own and bring it back to me and let's look at it. They also have them read the story on their own in the Jesus Storybook Bible to the younger kids, or read a book about creation on their own, that kind of thing. You can, again, do puzzles and Play-Doh with them too. You could even step up their level and have it be a little harder, that kind of thing. So reading and writing more and more and more. So that's how all of those things will play out this week. So I hope that me going over this will help you to kind of have an idea of how it can play out throughout the day and as the days go on throughout the week. And I hope you enjoy just talking about creation, who God is, what He has made, and I feel like this is one of the most foundational weeks of God's ABCs, because it's first in the year order, but also just because you have to start somewhere and it's the starting line. So talking about those things with your kids, it's just the way it goes. Also, one last thing is, just like we did with the New Testament, where we had these hand motions and we walked through the New Testament and learned them all, I also have a walk through the Old Testament. And so the part that goes for this week is creation, and you don't have to go over that with your kids, but just so that you're aware that as we go through the Old Testament, that's what we're covering this week, is creation. And I make like a world, a circle with my hands. So I hope that you feel like this helps you, and the idea is that if you know the memory work and you know the memory verse and you know the songs and you listen to them this week before next week starts, then it should be the idea is that this should be fun, and it should not be adding stress. It should be giving you something that you can do to keep them busy, or something that you can do to go over things. So that's the idea of what this is not to add something else that you have to do. It's supposed to be something that you can do to be fun and enjoyable and bring your whole family toward God and closer to God. So God bless.